I'm on mute. Hello. How's it going? And welcome to Panathinaikos preview that was a very spur of the moment. Very spur of the moment indeed. I just haven't had time to put together a proper video, but we'll go through a few things in preparation for our game tomorrow. Of course, there are some team news that we need to go through. There's some bits and some bobs. A lot of people not traveling, and certain players in particular that are going to be traveling. We had some I wouldn't say big upsets yesterday in the Champions League. We also had, we had 5-2 Real Madrid, Borussia Dortmund bottling a 2-0 lead. Can you believe that? Arsenal beating Shakhtar Donetsk 1-0, and Aston Villa doing the bits again. I think, if I'm not mistaken, in the Champions League, they are now top of the league. Can you believe that? Unbelievable stuff. But besides that, it is Conference League time for Chelsea, and it is again. Everyone knows who Genk are. Everyone knows who Panathinaikos are. I mean, we're playing the more known, the more noted teams that we have in our run of games. Of course, in the Conference League, if we look at what's to come, we've got Panathinaikos tomorrow or today, whenever you're watching it. We've got Noah. We've got Heidenheim. I'm not quite sure how good they're still doing in Bundesliga table. They are currently in 9th place. So we've still got them to play. We've got Astana. And then we, cap it all off with Shamrock Rovers. But it's still early days, still very, very early days. And if we look at the table, we've only got that for the Carabao Cup. But the tables, Conference League. There we go. Cercle Bruges are currently top. And as it stands, I don't think we are necessarily doing too well. We're 6th. Excuse me. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. It is one of those games where, you come into this thinking we could probably rest some players. We obviously only got a draw. No, we didn't. What am I talking about? We beat Genk 4-2. It seems so long ago. I don't know why. I think I'm thinking back to... I don't know why I've got the headphones on. I don't know. I think I was thinking back to the Carabao Cup, the Chelsea Premier League. What the fuck am I talking about? The career mode on FIFA. I think we drew our opening game on that, and I'm thinking it's the same thing. We've got Panathinaikos. They're currently in 19th. They drew their opening game. I can't quite remember who that was against, but I mean, come on. Needless to say, it's one of those games where you should be coming into this and winning it quite convincingly, even with a weakened side, of which we are going to go through. It's an earlier kickoff than usual. It's a 5:45 kickoff tomorrow, Morgan. It's tomorrow. It's not today. This is a preview. This is not a live watch along. I didn't want to do a video. I didn't have the time to do a video, but I do have the time to do a what do you call it? A live preview, I guess. Steve, good to see you, mate. Evening H, cooling down a bit. Only just got over 25 today. Well, lucky for some. I mean, to be fair, it's 14 degrees today. I think we got a high of like 17, which, bit hot for October. It's got to be said. Either way, the topic of today, more so than not, was, of course, players that weren't traveling. So we had Chelsea players not traveling. I think it was like Nicholas Jackson. I'll share my screen so we can go through a little bit. 1 second. Bear with me. I understand that this is obviously a little bit not what we usually do or the way that we do it. But it's all good. It's all cushy. Hang on. Camera. There we go. Does that look good? Whoa, there we go. As you can see, how's the dog? The dog's doing all right. He's a bit nippy today, but, you know, he's still plodding along. Chelsea confirmed that Levi Colwill, Reece James, Malo Gusto, Moises Caicedo, Nicholas Jackson, all have not travelled to Athens. This is part of the plan by Maresca and his staff. And if a lot of you, don't know how many of you, did see, there was, of course, a live training session on the YouTube channel, the Chelsea YouTube channel. We saw the likes of, I think, Renato Vega. We saw Dewsbury Hall. We saw SHIM MHEUKA, a 17-year-old prospect who is 6'1" and is, you know, doing as best as he can to fight for a future first team place. And honestly, I from what I've heard, Alex is very in talks with like family and all that sort of thing, and it seems as though a first team place could very much be on the cards, or at least that's the hope for this game, is that SHIM MHEUKA at least he will feature, but at the we might be able to expect him to start. Elsewhere, we of course have talks from Maresca talking about, you know, Joao Felix and whatnot. He had to say on this was Felix has yet to start a Premier League game since signing from Atletico Madrid for a fee of, in the round of a fee of around 45 million in August, but the former Benfica player is yet to be included from the start when Maresca's side come, face against Panathinaikos. He did say in his press conference that Joao, since he arrived, is doing very well with us. He's doing fantastic. Everything I can say is good. We have Joao, but we have more players who are unfortunately not all playing. It's not because they are not doing well in the week. It's because the ones playing in this moment are doing very well. Joao just has to continue playing and working in the way that he is, and hopefully we can give him more minutes and chances. So, you know, it's not necessarily down to him being out of favour. It's just, he's just not as good as certain other players, you know? It's just the way that it goes sometimes, unfortunately for him. But again, I can fully expect that we will see a Joao Felix start, probably. Like, I'm really confused if he doesn't start. If we go to, I'm gonna try and have a look at if I can find it. That's Europa League. I'm going to try and find my preview, what do you call it? Predicted lineup. Fixtures. Where is it? So we got there. I mean, if I'm looking, what am I thinking? I'm thinking Jorgensen in goal. Should I get it up on the screen? Hang on. Let's go through what we expect. What we expect to be the is it this one? This one. It is this one. This is what I expect. We'll talk about Pitchside just in a second towards the end of the stream. I had a really good time, though. It's got to be said. I do agree, though. I was expecting to be talking about the game a little bit more, but, you know, it just didn't come to fruition. We started talking about takeaway for the most part. But, you know, a lot of people still tuned in. So maybe they just want to see me talk about food, I guess. We're going to go Jorgensen in goal just because it's fairly obvious that I think that is going to be the way that it goes, I suppose. At right back, the thing is, if Achimpong was like doing what he does and was actually playing, then maybe that would be a possibility. You know, it's not really looking good because he's linked with Dortmund, he's linked with Real Madrid. It's all over the place at the moment with regards to him, and Chelsea aren't willing to play him until he signs a new contract. So, in a game like this, you would have fully expected him to play. I think I'm gonna go with Gusto still. I think he is one of the players that still went. So I think I saw him in the training video today. In the middle, I think it will probably be Tosin and Badiashile. We saw those players there as well. I don't think we will see Ben Chilwell. So again, Cucurella, could we see him play? He's obviously absent because of being suspended the other day. But I'm going to go with Vega. Unfortunately, I do not have a graphic for SHIM MHEUKA, but I don't necessarily see him starting, to be completely honest with you. In midfield, I'm going to go with KDH, and I'm going to go with Romeo Lavia. Cassidy, maybe. You never know, but I'm going to go with that. I'm also going to go with Nkunku up top. Maybe Mark Guiu. I don't see why that would be even possibly a choice. So I am going to go with that. Neto on the right. And Mudryk on the left. And we're missing someone. We need to have someone down the middle. Felix. João Felix down the middle. I mean, if anything, from what I've seen with the players that being left behind, this almost seems a little bit too strong of a team. But I could see it. I could honestly see it. I could see this being what we start with. It's certainly a weakened side to our regular 11. But with the likes of SHIM MHEUKA being rumored to at least. Well, I mean, he's travelled with the side, so I would fully expect him to be included in the team to some capacity, whether that is as a starter or off the bench. But all the same, it's. I think he's going to get game time. I don't think it's really that much of a worry. What happens in the end? I think realistically, I know we don't want to risk too many players. The likes of Romeo Lavia, Maybe you start Cassidy over Romeo Lavia because, Lavia's only just come back recently in the last couple of weeks. So you don't want to, try him too much. Maybe bring him on in the second half. But overall, I think this is a decent 11. I think this is a very decent 11. Obviously, you could see Vega in the middle as well. You could see Chilwell on the left. I don't see that happening. I'm also unsure as to whether or not... he hasn't traveled. Gusto hasn't traveled as well. Was he one of the names? It was Malo Gusto who hasn't. So who the fuck are we going to play at right back? Oh, it's going to be Disasi, is it? Disasi was there. So is it going to be... That doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem right at all. Who else have we got? We're not going to play Fofana or Colwill. They're obviously not going as well. I don't know. It's a bit of a strange one. I think I could see that being the starting 11 there then. Apologies, I should have remembered that Gusto wasn't going, but I think that's a strong team. Again, I wouldn't be upset if SHIM MHEUKA was to start, but I think he's about as likely to start as Mark Guiu, which, again, I'd be surprised, But yeah, there we go. Jorgensen, Disasi, Tosin, Badiashile and Vega, Cassidy and KDH with João Felix, Neto, Mudryk and Nkunku up top. Predictions-wise, I really do hope that we come away with a good result. By all accounts, Panathinaikos' stadium is meant to be rather intimidating, so I would expect that they're going to come at least very close, if not score a goal themselves. That said, opening game of their season in regards to the Conference League themselves, if we just check, I think it was 1-1 In their game, it was... Oh, they lost. No. Yeah, it was 1-1 against Barack Banja Barack Banja is who they drew to. They were 1-0 up, and then Despotovic. I don't know why I keep saying it. Despotovic puts it away in the 50th minute to equalise. So, you know, it begs the question, even with a weaker side, could we see an upset? I really do doubt it, especially if we want to actually win this thing. You better hope that we're going to win. Either way, I'm going to go with a conservative 2-0. A conservative 2-0 victory for Chelsea in this game. And I don't think that's too out of the realm of possibility. But yeah, there we go. There's your preview. Not much to it. It's really not a game that have we ever played Panathinaikos? I don't think we have, to be honest with you. Head to head. Maybe years ago? No. We have never played Panathinaikos. So it's really not one of those games that you can come into and think, you know, this could happen, that could happen. It's more so about the prospects and the young players that could get some game time. SHIM, MHEUKA, you know, Tyreek George, is he travelled? Maybe, I don't know. But either way, Panathinaikos are 110% up for it. I watched their presser, and it's their first home game since George Baldock passed away, and they're going to go all out for the win for him. Mad atmosphere. I think 1-1. We played Panathinaikos, PAOK in the Europa League. I mean, that wasn't who I was thinking, but it's not really a team that I know Panathinaikos are just purely because of FIFA, I think. and having gone to Greece as a kid and all that sort of thing, you just know the Greek teams. But it's not really a team that Chelsea have ever come across. But yeah, there we go. Predictions wise, 2-0, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Please do like the video. I'm not gonna end it. I'm gonna end the video here, but I'm gonna cut this bit off. Just quickly, Pitchside, it was absolutely fantastic. I really enjoyed myself, absolutely shitting myself going there. In a sense, it was more excitement than anything. But to get the random text from Lewis, like on Thursday, and then it was like, are you free for the game? I was like, yeah, of course. And then to just randomly rock up and suddenly I'm on this panel and talking on a channel, talking to 50,000 people. It was pretty good. It's pretty good indeed. Already been invited back on preliminarily in the sense of like, you know, they liked how it went and they'll have me on again at some point for but like another Chelsea game in the future. We've obviously got some very big games coming up in the next couple of weeks. We've got Newcastle, we've got Man United, we've got Arsenal. Obviously Lewis, the producer's a Newcastle fan. That would be good back and forth. And then obviously there, I think Theo and Reeve are both Arsenal fans. So there's some good banter to be had there as well. But yeah, it was very good. I really do look forward to going on again in the near future and in the future in general. And a big thank you to all of you. A big thank you. I'll obviously say this again at some point in the watch along when more people are here. But yeah, without you guys, wouldn't be doing this, wouldn't be, you know, getting that opportunity or whatever. And it's crazy. It's gone, you know, out of absolutely nowhere to be invited on a show that big, and for it to have gone as well as it did, as well as like a debut in terms of it's the first time I've gone on a show that's not in my room, if that makes sense, in my studio. I've actually had to go somewhere in fucking North London, Central London, wherever it was, and go and meet people in person, to have me as a guest and talk to me. It was very weird, very surreal, but also felt so natural being there at the same time. It was really weird. I bet it was weird watching me on there. I bet it was really weird. My whole family was watching pretty much, and they said it went very well. obviously didn't talk about the game too much, but the game wasn't very entertaining to begin with. So I felt like the conversations were still quite funny at the same time and made light of a bad situation. Stop acting like you just came out of lockdown, mate. I am. Do you know what I mean, though? I've just done this for nearly 5 seasons. This is my 5th season doing this. So it was the Champions League winning season. That's 2021, 21, 22, 22, 23, 24, 25. So this is my 4th season doing watch-alongs. And so to be invited on something after doing it for this long feels good, man. Feels really good. Feels like it's all been worth it all along. And yeah, just really look forward to going on more stuff like that. Obviously, REECE, like you say, it was entertaining, just didn't feel like a watch along. I don't think that's the vibe for their show, to be honest with you. I think it's to bring up more topics of like just having a laugh and a joke as if you're at the pub or something like that. But I enjoyed it. It was a nice sort of atmosphere to be able to just sort of sit and watch the game without the pressures of having to commentate or take it too seriously. And because of how stressful the game was as a whole, it was quite a relaxing place. The pressure was more on talking like to the camera or talking to people that are right next to me. There's nowhere to run. There's nowhere to hide. There's no internet connection that I can hide behind if I don't know the answer to a question or I'm trying to avoid a question. I had to just sit and, answer it then and there. I wasn't really awkward. I thought at the beginning it was. I've never been in a situation where I'm like, pleasure to be on. Thanks for having me on, guys, and all that sort of thing. But once that was all, the pleasantries were out the way. I thought it was really good, and I didn't crack open a beer until like when they scored. So I think that was like 20 minutes in. Either way, I loved it. I had a really good time. I can't wait to go back on, and hopefully this is the start of the next. Whatever the fuck happens, So, again, thank you for all your support. It really does mean a lot. And, yeah, like I say, here's to the future. Whatever the hell happens, I'm going to bring you guys along with me. And hopefully next time, the day after, I actually do a video. Because it's all been a bit surreal. Very, very sort of like, I don't know, the come down of going on something like that to then back to normal. No, it's not like I was on fucking, I'm a celebrity or something like that, but it's weird going into a full-on studio, meeting a load of people that you've never met before and talking to them about football because I've just been doing it screaming at my, my camera, and suddenly I'm invited on a show. It's a bit weird. So I've just been taking the last couple of days to just relax or whatever, but we're back. Game tomorrow against Panathinaikos. Watch along will be going on as per usual. We'll be starting a live stream. UK time will be about 4:30 p.m. UK time. So an early start, but also an early finish. And hopefully it's a good game. So until then, thank you for watching. All the best. My name is Harry up the Chelsea, and peace.